I'm KarenOBeauty, and today I have this bold blue eyeshadow look for you. I know you're thinking, blue eyeshadow, 1980s, all the atrocities that they used to do with blue eyeshadow, but I'm gonna pull it out of the dark ages, bring it into the 21st century to give you this glamorous, bold blue smoky eye. So if you wanna see how to get this glam look, keep on watching. And without further ado, let's move on to the tutorial. So to save a little time, I went ahead and I prepped my eyes off camera. So what I did is I just used Tarte Shape Tape Primer in the color Tan Sand. I placed it on my eyelids and I just pounced it out using my beauty blender. So now I'm just going to go into the colors. Using a blending brush, a pointed blending brush similar to this one, I'm going to go into my Perception palette. So this is ColourPop and Shayla's collaboration palette. I'm going to start by applying color into my crease. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip into Culture, which is this color right here. So I'm just going to apply Culture into my crease. That is going to be my transition shade. I'm just going to build up the color. Sometimes if it's hard for you to get into your crease, it's helpful if you lean your head back a little and just apply the color that way. It helps you get right in there. I'm gonna now take a clean blending brush and I'm just gonna buff out the edges. Buffing out the edges basically gives me that blurred out effect so it doesn't look like I've applied the eyeshadow in a line. It just looks a little more natural. Going into using the first brush, I'm going to go back into Culture. So just to remind you, I'm going back into Culture and applying more of that color to my crease. It's really important to use the transition color because when you start building and adding other colors, it's this transition shade that's going to be kind of like the glue to keep the colors together and help them blend well together. I'm going to apply another color into the crease. I'm going to go back into the palette. I'm going to use this color here called Thick. It's a beautiful, I don't want to say bright orange, but it's a nice vibrant orange, that's for sure. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply it directly into the crease and I'm not going to blend it out. I'm going to go back into Culture and just apply that just above Thick. So now I'm ready to start applying some of that bright blue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a liner or an eyeliner as my base. Today I'm going to use the Tarte Clay Pot in the color Cobalt. I'll just open this up. I'll open this up so you can see it. That's the color. And using a flat eyeshadow brush. This one is the Morphe E10 brush. I'm going to dip into that liner. And I'm going to just apply it starting close to the lash line. And I'm going to build it up. And what this liner is going to do is it's going to give me a beautiful blue base. And when I tapped into that liner, I took the slightest amount just so that I could work it back up. And if you feel like you need to go back into that liner, go ahead, but just make sure that you're adding a little bit at a time, just because it's easier to build up color versus taking color away. So using the rounded edge of the brush, I'm just putting that right into the crease and following the shape of my eye socket, almost like as if you're doing a cut crease, but with this blue. That's great. Using my blending brush, I'm using the same one. It's my pointed blending brush from Ms. Wattier. I'm going to actually dip into this color here. It's a MAC eyeshadow. It's called Belle Azur. It's actually a discontinued eyeshadow, but it's similar to Electric Eel or Atlantic Blue. Either one would work, or any blue it is that you have at home would work. And I'm just taking this color and I'm patting it on top of that liner. So now that I have that blue on my eyelid, I'm going to go back into the Shayla palette. I'm going to use this color right here, 14, and I'm just going to apply that to my crease. Going back into my Shayla palette, I'm going to dip into Culture, a little bit of Thick, and I'm going to apply that to my crease, just where the blue and the transition color meet. And I'm going to blend that out. Dipping back into 14, just tapping off the excess. I'm going to go over top of that crease again. I'm dipping back into Culture and Thick once again, and I'm just applying it above that blue, and I'm going to mix it in with that crease. I'd like to brighten up that blue a little bit more, so using the flat eyeshadow brush that I used earlier, the E10, I'm going to dip into this Belle Azure, just pack it on like that, and I'm just going to pat it on top of my lid, just like this. And you see that patting motion just gives you this vibrant and beautiful blue. I'm going to use that blending brush with no color added to it, and just sweep through my crease. I'm going to take my blending brush and I'm going to dip it into 14, and I'm going to dip it into Stallion, which is this beautiful deep navy, and I'm going to apply it towards the outer edge of my eye, strictly in the crease area, using the lightest hand possible. So I'm holding my brush at the end. I'm going to tilt my head back and I'm just going to lightly sweep it in there. I'm going to dip into Belle Azure and tap off any excess. I'm using that same light hand, tilting my head back. I'm just going to sweep that into my eye from the center inwards. So now with a windshield washer motion, I'm just going to go across the entire crease and just above the crease as well. I'm just going to dip lightly back into Culture. I'm going to tap off of my excess and just apply that to the edge of that blue up here. And I know right now it looks a little messy, but once we finish the other eye and we apply concealer to our under eyes, it'll come together really well. So I'm gonna go off camera, I'm gonna finish the other eye, and I'll be right back. So now that I've gone ahead and I finished my other eye, I'm gonna conceal my under eyes, and I'm going to apply some shadow to my under eyes as well. So I'm gonna use my Tarte Shape Tape in the color Tan Sand. And I'm going to apply that to my under eyes, like so. And using a damp beauty blender, I'm going to blend that concealer in. So I'm going to set the concealer on my one side before I go ahead and pounce out the other side. I'm using my Laura Mercier setting powder, my translucent powder I should say, and a Morphe E52 brush. And I'm just going to place the powder, tap it on top of that concealer. Now I'm going to go into the other side and blend that concealer out. And just like the other side, I'm going to set this concealer with my Laura Mercier. Now that's nicely set. I'm going to use my Morphe M506 brush. This is a very small blending brush. And going into my Shayla palette, I'm going to dip into Stallion and 14, tap off the excess, and starting from the outer corner, working my way in, I'm going to apply that shadow to my lower lash line. And as you can see, I'm basically trying to make it look like this line is continuing throughout. So I'm just gonna follow through. And if you can see, looks like I placed a little too much shadow here. So I'm just gonna take that beauty blender that I was using before. It still has a little bit of that concealer on it. I'm just gonna tap so that I can kind of erase that line. And as you can see, it's pretty much gone. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. I'm going to use my beauty blender just to erase out some of those areas that I may have accidentally put blue eyeshadow on, such as right here. Using that same M506 brush, I'm going to dip into my MAC blue. Mine's Belle Azure, but as I mentioned, this one is discontinued. So you can use Atlantic Blue or Electric Eel. And I'm just going to run that color along over top that lower lash line, just like that. I'm going to take my MAC, the blue eyeshadow I was using, Belle Azure. As I mentioned before, this one's discontinued, but you could use MAC's Electric Eel or Atlantic Blue. I'm just going to take this color, I'm going to run it along my lower lash line, like that. I'm going to use Shayla's loose highlighting powder in the color Boomin' with that same M506 brush. I have some on the lid here. I'm just going to dip that in. I'm just going to apply it to the corners of my eyes. I'm going to go off camera now and I'm just going to finish my complexion. I'm going to put on some lashes and I'll be right back. So I've gone ahead, I've finished my complexion, and I popped on some falsies, and this is pretty much the final look. So I'm going to take the clips out of my hair and just give you a quick overview of what I've done for my complexion. I use the Fenty Pro Filter foundation in the color 330, and I bronzed with MAC's bronzer in the color Bronze. And I've hit pan, but because it's such a favorite. For my lips, I used Cork Liner with a combination of MAC Viva Glam Gaga 2 lipstick. This is a really pale neutral lipstick. And I used this lipstick from a company called Mellow in the color Posh. And that's my finished look. So just to top things off, I am going to set my face using my Urban Decay All-Nighter. Just feel kissed and blessed by the makeup gods. So there you have it. This is our complete look. It's a bold blue smoky eye that's perfect for any type of celebration. And it was really easy to do. I used one blending brush with a combination of colors and just took my time blending it out. Popped some falsies on, finished off my complexion, and we're ready to go. So if you like this video and you like me, be sure to hit the thumbs up button below. And if you want to see more content from me, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment below. Let me know, how do you feel about this look? Did you try it at home? Where'd you go with it? And until next time, I'm sending love and light your way. Bye!